back, everybody, to AM 1220 KHTS, Santa Clarita's hometown station. You're listening to the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John. It's the Gazette radio version of the radio version of the Santa Clarita Gazette and Free Classifieds.
Wow, you almost had that perfect for the year. Whatever, we're on the radio.
Everything you need to know to be in the know.
You got that right. So far, you're like batting 1,000 for the year.
Well,
I was thinking, Doug, you don't seem yourself, and I know what happened. What? I know what happened. We didn't give you a chance to rant.
Maybe that's it.
That would probably get your energy up a little bit.
You know, there's something that's bugging me a little bit, John.
There's got to be at least one thing. Besides me?
And I'm in a quandary over this.
Uh-oh.
Have you heard about the billboard issue here in Santa Clarita?
Yeah, that was... actually, you know something? Only one person got asked that question the other night.
Really?
I thought it was a little bit more important than that.
Yeah. And, I'm conflicted on it.
Well, wait a minute. Why don't you tell people what the problem is? What's going on?
Okay, the city is kind of teamed up, or I'm not sure, the Metrolink, MTA, whatever that stands for, is
Metropolitan Transit Authority.
Okay. And they said, hey, because they own all the land along the railroad tracks, from Railway to Railroad Avenue, all the way around Bouquet and down Soledad.
Yeah, usually when an association like that or an entity comes in and they build those tracks, they have right of ways, a certain amount of land, so they can manufacture the yard, the rails and everything. Yeah,
but the city at the same time is kind of in favor of it and pushing it because they say that the billboards are ugly and it's kind of a blight on the city.
So the MTA granted the right of way to the billboard company to put these billboards up. And
it's within their contractual rights to cancel it.
They can do that, and they want to cancel the contract, and the city's going, yeah, sounds great.
Yeah,
because it gets rid of the quote-unquote blight.
And the reason I'm conflicted, as a newspaper, it would be eliminating one of my competitors.
Well, have you ever looked?
It could.
Does
it help?
Does it?
Yeah, there's a lot of folks that spend a lot of money on those billboards.
Okay.
And, presumably some of that money would come our way in the way of advertising revenue. But what I don't like is an entity like that putting a company, because the one billboard company's been in business for over 50 years.
Oh, so you got the city coming in and putting them out of business.
Just boof.
They're gone.
And I'm still waiting to hear. I don't know if they've ruled yet if there was going to be any kind of compensation.
Oh, I'm sure there's going to
be.
Yeah.
Well, at first there was some talk there wasn't going to be.
See, I think that's ridiculous. I think there's issues with regard to. A public entity can take something, okay, eminent domain. That's what they call it. They can take something for the betterment of the community. But I don't know about billboards. That's kind of more.
And I don't know if, and I don't think this
thing
falls under the eminent domain.
Yeah. If they're not going to do the eminent domain thing, but it still just kind of aggravates me that they would close a business, even if it helps you out a little bit. It just closes a business that I think is just.
I'm just, I don't like when a city or government just comes in and can wipe out all the billboards. That just bugs me. And I can see why they want to do it.
But businesses are businesses, and you've got a city that is supposed to be business friendly.
Yes,
in theory. But I know you don't agree with that. So we got to guess. Why don't we talk to him about how the city's doing in business and all kinds of cool stuff?
Have we got Mr. Jim Backer on the line?
Yes.
Wow,
Jimmy. Folks, we're proud to have the president of JSB Development, Mr. Jim Backer, on. How are you doing, sir?
Good. How are you guys?
Great.
Good.
First thing we want to do is congratulate you for what's going to happen tonight. Mr. Backer's going to be installed as the chairman of the board for the Chamber of Commerce here in Santa Clarita. Congratulations, Jim.
Well, thank you.
That's really good. Congratulations. He had me worried. I would like to congratulate you for what's going to happen tonight. Anytime Doug starts talking about something like that, I get a little worried.
Easy.
But you never know what he's going to come out of his mouth. That's a little scary. So that's actually exciting. But Doug, I know you're big in the Chamber of Commerce, and obviously, Jim, you are. How is the Chamber really going to affect small businesses in Santa Clarita? I mean, does it really wield that much power?
Well, I think, how I look at it is that we have almost 1,200 members, and these are people that are committed to the growth of the community and the successful business enterprises that exist in the community, and hopefully those that will come after and join us. We are still a very heavy majority small business chamber, and we do believe in the importance of small business, and we know they've been through a tough time the last 5 years. I'm one of them, and I think all of us on the call are small businesses. And But I think that what we try to do is advocate for small business with whomever we can, whether it's the banking industry or the city or the county or any other governmental agency that business has to deal with.
Yeah, I think that's important. I mean, any group lobbying on behalf of themselves is actually probably pretty good, especially on a local level. You're probably going to get involved in some of the city council stuff.
Yes, we will.
That's going to be interesting. I understand you have a forum coming up. That'll be fun.
Oh, yeah, always.
But, well, let's talk about you. Let's talk about what's going on with your big issues and some cool things that are going on with regard to what you're doing here.
You bet. Well, I was fortunate. I just finished a building for the William S. Hart School District, a new office building that they moved into over the last 2 weekends. And they are consolidating their operations from 2 buildings totaling about 60, get my math right, about 63,000 square feet. And they're going to end up being at about 45,000 feet by the time they occupy the second building. So that is helping them to put all of their office people in one location and then also get rid of about 20,000 square feet of unneeded space or space that didn't fit what they needed for. So that'll be great over the coming year. And then Vista Canyon's kind of our big project that Doug's very familiar with out in Canyon Country, and we're currently in the appeal process with the court system because our project was challenged by local people who...
You mean environmental wackos?
Well, people that basically don't support any kind of growth in this community. They use the environmental mantra, I think, to hide some of their efforts, but the reality is that they don't want any growth, and nothing's ever good enough, and you can't work with them, and you can't talk to them.
Okay, so I know there's a pending lawsuit, so we won't get into the specifics, but
sure.
When you talk to somebody like that, I mean, you must, when you're developing a project like that, you must spend an awful lot of money to at least hash out some of these environmental concerns.
Well, I mean, this is my 30th year in development, and I'll speak for myself. Okay. I do care about the environment. I do think that development has an obligation to the community to mitigate whatever impacts a development will cause.
Exactly.
But what's happened is, the city was required to do an environmental impact report, and it was 13,000 pages.
Wow.
Analyzed every single thing about the property, and in a fair, truthful way, and the city found it worthy to approve the project based on all that work, and Scope and their people are probably up into their 40th or 50th lawsuit challenging approved projects. And it's they are. They should really be called community terrorists, not activists or not environmental terrorists. That's what they are.
Yeah, it's
Jim. Does that just drive you crazy? I mean, do you go to bed at night just irritated, or you just learn to deal with it?
Well, I think the thing is, fortunately, we have other projects that we're working on. During the time we deal with the lawsuit. The other reality is, this is a huge project, and we've used this time to advance all of our permits and basically put the project into as much of a shovel-ready condition as it can be the day that we hopefully are successful in our appeal of this lawsuit, and we're victorious. So we are preparing to start the project, and in the middle of it, we have to deal with the lawsuit. But yeah, what I'm very disappointed about, more than anything, is the misrepresentation that they utilize and the fact that nothing is ever good enough. And I'll even say, I heard a little bit at the tail end of your discussion, we're going to have disagreements. The billboard issue is recently been out in the community, and I personally see the benefits of reducing the amount of billboards out there. I understand the concerns that some of the small business folks have expressed, but I also think we have to balance it with the fact that it tends, the work that will happen will clean up the the neighborhoods quite a bit too, and it's a balancing act.
Exactly.
That's what we all have to look at, is it's a balance. We're not getting rid of all of them, but we're getting rid of some of them.
Exactly.
And so I think, but we're very proud of Vista Canyon. It's really a unique project. We're doing a water reclamation plant on site.
Wow.
That will essentially make our project a neutral project on water. So we will have zero impact.
You won't have any chloride
use
coming
of
out.
water.
Huh? No chloride, huh?
Yeah, the chloride gets dealt with like all the other chlorides get dealt with.
We won't open that can of worms.
Folks, we're talking to Jim Backer, the president of JSB Developments and the soon-to-be chairman of the board of the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce. If you're not exactly sure what Jim's talking about with Vista Canyon, where would you say it is, Jim, on the riverbed at Lost Canyon before Sand Canyon?
Well, Vista Canyon, it's basically between the railroad and Highway 14, and we usually call ourselves west of Sand Canyon Road and east of Lost Canyon, right below Fair Oaks Ranch.
Okay.
And I know you're planning on 1,100 residential units, 950,000 square feet of office and retail space,
Right.
new Metrolink station, and a bus transfer station. Is that
Right.
right?
The Metrolink station is relocating from about 2 miles to the south at Via Princesa to our site, and that was a move supported by Metrolink in the city. And one of the main things is that it creates kind of a transit-oriented development so that people could end up walking from their residence to the Metrolink station, and those that take Metrolink to the site could walk from Metrolink to jobs or shopping or whatever else. Currently, the Metrolink station at Via Princesa has, I think, just under 400 parking spaces, and we'll have over 700.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Canyon.
So what other hurdles do you think you're facing besides what did they call them, the environmental wackos? I think environmental concerned citizens who may be
whatever, John.
exaggerating their position. How's that?
Whatever, John.
That's probably politically correct too.
Yeah, I mean there's a long process on a lot of these things. We don't make development easy always. I think the city has made some great strides in trying to simplify some things and streamline some processes. But the reality is the city is just one of the players. And
Right.
there are state and federal agencies, there are county agencies. And so we have moved forward with those and continued to get permits. Because really what happens, what people understand is we get entitlements that says, you're approved to do this.
Right.
But then typically you have to go to an agency like Fish and Game or like Army Corps to make the necessary permits work for you in the river and everything else.
Yeah, everybody's got their hand in the pot.
Everybody has something to say.
Yeah.
Hey, Jim, we're up against the clock. We really appreciate you coming on. Can we have you back on? Because we want to talk to you about some other stuff.
My pleasure.
All right.
Awesome.
You guys are great to have me.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Jim. Appreciate it.
Take care.
All right, that was Jim Backer from
JSB
Development. I forgot his middle initial there for a second. All right, you're listening to the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John on AM 1220 KHTS. When we come back, sports. Bum, bum, bum.